Courtney, welcome to Discover the Wonder.
Thank you.
So nice to see you.
Good to see you.
It's been a few years.
It's been a minute,
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
What have you been up to? Give us a little bit of a...
I've been doing a lot of writing, just I've written a lot of scripts, had a lot of movies produced, especially on the Hallmark and Lifetime side of things, a lot of Christmas movies, a lot of rom-coms, a couple thrillers, and I write, I do yoga, I hang out with my friends. I'm a simple girl, there's not...
Is that how you find the wonder in life?
Yeah, I think honestly, I find the wonder in a lot of in small ways, I think traveling is definitely something where I find it. Lately, I've been super into hummingbirds. Yeah.
Why? Explain.
Okay, there's this hummingbird that was repeatedly coming to my window every day, and a friend of mine was like, you should just put a feeder out, just kind of, if it's coming around all the time, just put out a feeder. And so I got 2 feeders because excess.
Of course.
and now I have a ton of hummingbirds that are just hanging out around my place. So that's the, just stuff like that. I like finding nature and animals and travel. And
did you find as you were growing up that you had a different sense of wonder than you did as an adult now?
I think, honestly, I'm one of those people who's just been the exact same person my entire life. I literally, no growth. I just, came out, and not much has changed. I feel like my childhood self is pretty much, other than, getting taller and, other than that, I was doing a lot of the same stuff.
Amazing. So in other words, you haven't even yet lost the sense of wonder. It just continued since...
Well, I mean, my job's based off of imagination, so, and I had I always had an active imagination as a kid. I was always sort of escaping into stories and telling stories and coming up with stories and stuff, and I mean, I'm just doing the adult version of that, So, yeah.
Sure, and you're expressing yourself that way.
Yeah, it's, I mean, it seemed more like just a natural progression, and I don't feel like my sense of wonder between childhood and now has changed, all that much. Maybe I liked looking at butterflies. Now I like looking at hummingbirds. There's not. Yeah.
I love it. And how would you describe to someone who kind of has lost the sense of wonder? How would you describe that they should, regain that, find that experience, much like you? Is there something that?
I think it's easy. I mean, we live in a world where it's super easy to lose it. I mean, we're inundated every day with just you can get lost in the doom scroll. There's things, geopolitically and with technology and with, world conflicts and stuff that's really kind of outside of your control. But if you're consuming that constantly, I see why a lot of people are kind of reaching a sense of hopelessness and despair. But I think there's, for me at least, I know that what helps is focus on the stair and not the staircase. You know what I mean? Do what's in front of you, what's on your plate. Your immediate surroundings are really the things that have the most impact on your life, and you can find ways within your own immediate surroundings to create wonder and joy and stuff. You can create your own routine to nourish your body, to go on hikes, to get outside, to get to feel good, in your physical form. You can nurture your friends and your community and your family and stuff. There's ways to sort of pour back into your own cup, and I think a lot of people forget because the problems of the world are so big that there's ways to just control what you can actually control and find joy that way.
And before the show, we talked a little bit about AI.
Yeah.
Right, and how, right. I almost feel like the sense of wonder will be lost a lot as AI becomes more prominent in our lives, and so that's why I think it's also timely to talk about that. Do you feel that AI will come in and take over that whatever we talked about before?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely, as a writer, it's triggered a bit of an existential crisis because you spend a lot of time honing and figuring out a skill, and then now it feels like that skill is sort of being commoditized and in some ways democratized in a beautiful way, but in other ways it feels like it's also sort of being cheapened and shortcutted in a way that doesn't always feel fair. I don't know. I kind of subscribe to the, have you heard of singularity theory?
Tell me.
Okay, so it's like a theory that basically AI and this tech works on a bell curve. So it just you have a little bit of progress and then you reach a point where the progress just starts to really compound on itself and super increase. And we're kind of on that upswing right now. Mm-hmm. And the idea is that at some point it's going to stop needing prompting. It's going to be able to be like a quantum computing thing. It's going to be able to think its own and produce its own thoughts and stuff and essentially become a kind of super intelligence. And we're headed there. Mm-hmm. And the idea of the singularity is that once it reaches a certain level of intelligence, there's a coin flip between it deciding to create a utopia for us and being a kind of benevolent force to solve all the world's problems and hunger and all these things, or it's going to decide that we're that we're a parasite that it needs to be rid of.
We're obsolete.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Exactly. And I think with the AI thing, it's sort of we're all on the ride, and you can, again, it goes back to that kind of, the philosophy of just it's sort of out of our control. Unfortunately, unless you're Sam Altman or you're Elon Musk or something, and even they don't understand how this stuff is working anymore. They've all said once it's gone beyond our ability to even understand how it's doing what it's doing. So whether for better or worse, we're on the ride, So in some ways, it's kind of creates a sense of, you only really appreciate life if you know that death might come. You only really appreciate the lightness if there's some dark and stuff. And this is super dark. This is dark stuff. It has a potential to go that way. Certainly understand the risks that it might take your job. It might cause significant civil upheaval, but you can still go outside and find beauty and form really meaningful relationships. And in fact, they probably mean even more knowing that the world's a dangerous, scary place. So those little moments actually are imbued with a lot more significance because of that.
I love that. And what's interesting also to me is that I heard someone say, I think it was Musk probably, that lots of people obviously will lose employment mm-hmm. and will lose their sense of purpose and,
right.
and identity in the world, right? And so I think as time progresses, and maybe we're 2, 3, 4 years away from that, I think more than ever it's important to understand what brings you wonder in your life, if it's not your employment,
right?
If it's not the role that you have,
yeah.
So, I think that will be very significant for a lot of people to figure this out, because a lot of people obviously define themselves and find satisfaction from their job in doing stuff.
Yeah,
right.
I think that's humanity. I mean, you and I are people who work in film, and I don't think you don't go into film because you think that it's going to be an easy salaried paycheck that's comfy, that's just a job. You go into it because you really love what you're doing. And I don't know, I think that is a really, even if AI can create a level of efficiency that we can't reach and stuff, what it can't do is undo your love for something. It can't undo people wanting to really do something. You know what I mean? Just because somebody out there can prompt this thing to write a screenplay, that doesn't negate or take away my love of writing screenplays in the process, and I'm not gonna I'm not going to abandon my process or abandon my love for what I do just because there's this new tool that exists. It's I think, it's there will become, I think, a premium on people who really stick to the crafts and really master things, because we have this, we always have a pendulum swing with technology where it's all right, we're just going to automate every single customer service rep. But what happens? The pendulum swings back, and everybody's like, operator, agent, human being, you know, like, because we value, like, actual time and attention.
Of course, but what if we get to a point, and we probably will, where the AI agent is essentially better than the human?
Yeah,
right?
We might. We probably
we...
will. I think we probably will, but I think at the end of the day, you know, it's like, I think that there's just a sense of like you can get all the way up to like a millimeter from the goal line, but like that little the humanity is just that thing that pushes it over. And I mean, I think there will be beautiful AI films. I think that there will be. Like, I think there will be beautiful AI TV shows. I think that like, but part of the thing that I think people find fascinating about, you know, media specifically is the how did this get made? Like, what was the story behind it? How did, you know what I mean? And just sort of, you know, hearing this, like, how things come together, you know, like the Godfather and the, like, there's a certain, like, beauty in actually having a journey, and these things eliminate that journey. And I'm not sure that people are yearning for that type of thing.
As an artist, how do you feel about collaborating with AI? And I'm asking you the question because I work with somebody who's also an artist, and he or she shall be named, not named.
He who shall not be named.
Yes, I'm sure he's watching. Refuses to engage with AI on an artistic level because it's just, there's an impurity.
I'm not a total Luddite, like, because I think there's certain, like, I actually do like it for ideating and bouncing ideas. Like, for instance, if I'm writing a script and I'm like, I got to write a montage and it's 2 characters and it's springtime in Paris and they're going on dates, but I don't know what to do in Paris. I need, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, it's good to kind of bounce ideas and say, hey, what would 2 people do in Paris in springtime? And this is the neighborhood that they're hanging out in, because it's like, it's essentially a more sophisticated kind of Google search in some ways. So it's good for that. I don't have any respect for the people who just prompt it and have it do the actual writing for you, because to me that is like, you know, using it as a sounding board to try to sort of like flesh out and kind of hone, okay, you know, if I'm thinking about potentially this type of concept and I'm kind of bumping into a wall here, maybe I can talk this through with an AI assistant, fine, all good. But just saying, hey, just write this script for me, to me is a kind of intellectual laziness, and it's cheating. I mean, I think that that's happening in a lot of places in our society. I was reading this article about how, like, a lot of college students are just like getting their degrees basically by outsourcing all of their work to AI, like literally just putting their assignments into AI, copying and pasting whatever it wrote. And to me, it's like, the value of going to college is not just to get a degree, it's to get an education. And I think you cheat yourself the most when you don't actually allow yourself to go through the uncomfortable process of, like, writing sucks. It sucks. It's difficult. It's like you are really trying to force your mind to eloquently and engagingly tell a story, which is a challenge. And I think if you're having a discomfort with that actual process, you shouldn't be writing. You know what I mean? Like, if you're so uncomfortable with the actual process of the writing, don't just cheat by going to AI. Maybe ask yourself if you actually want to be a writer, because that's the job. You know? I don't know. I think, like, I don't respect people who use it as a cheat code, or who just sort of use it as a kind of lazy way to get work done. But I don't think it's without value as a tool, you know, the same way that, like, you know, if you're an artist and you decide to, you know, use your iPad to come up with some sketches, I don't have a problem with you using your paintbrush versus your iPad. You're still using your skill set, you know. I think it's just the, because, I mean, if I wrote a script pre-AI and I was writing that Paris montage, I would have gone to Google. I would have just, like, you know, searched travel sites on, and so there's not so much of a difference there, but never, the idea of just having something spit out writing and then presenting it as my own just feels like making a kind of deal with the devil that I don't have the stomach for.
Understood.
Yeah.
Can we shift gears a little bit?
Yeah. We don't want to talk about tech and societal collapse.
let's go. Right. Let's go back to the sense of wonder and the sense of happiness and joy and all of that. You see me. You mentioned you do yoga on a regularly. Can you give me a sense of how do you find your center? How do you retain your happiness on a daily basis? Are you a happy person? I don't know. Is that even a fair question?
Yeah.
Well, what is happiness?
I think I'm happy. I think it's interesting. I like to explore these dark topics sometimes, but I think like at the end of the day, like you can find kind of humor and you can find lightness in everything. So like, and I'm not afraid of the dark, because I know that there's all these like other beautiful things that counterbalance it, and I kind of stay like I like to live very much in my body. I do a lot of yoga, and I do think there's a mind-body connection, and if you can kind of figure out ways to take care of your health, and like it's surprising how much your outlook changes when you feel good, like when you actually like you're eating well and you're moving and you're outside and you're active. Like it makes all the difference, I think. And for me, I got into yoga when I was 18 or 19 and have just kind of made it a habit, just whatever's happening, you can get on the mat and, for an hour, hour and a half, 30 minutes, however long you have, you can turn your brain off and just, all I need to do is focus on where is my gaze, where are my hands, what part of me am I engaging and stuff. And I think that even just having that ability to sort of power down through a kind of moving meditation is a significant way to feel better and feel happy and to, feel good. I think like our bodies are a gift. You don't have it forever. So use it and take care of it. Because you live in it,
Well,
it's your house, your soul is living in this thing. You gotta upkeep,
Courtney, while you're here, what happens after death?
Oh, dude, I don't know.
What do you think?
Oh,
what
man.
do you think it happens?
I heard, I can't remember the guy's name, but I heard a theory that always kind of like made sense to me, where basically like the universe and your experience of reality happens entirely within your own consciousness, right? Like you experience the world through your mind and stuff, and your mind has the ability to create different types of reality and things for you. Like if you think about it, if you do psychedelics and stuff, like your brain will create a vision or a hallucination or whatever, and that's a very real experience for you. And when you die, you have all these biological processes that happen. Your body gets flooded with like DMT, which is a super powerful chemical. And I think your brain and your consciousness will create whatever you believe happens when you die. Like I think if you truly believe in heaven, your brain will follow suit and it will create it for you, and you'll experience it. Like it doesn't make it any less real. And I think I think that we manifest our own realities just as we manifest our own afterlife,
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
I think whatever your mind wants to believe is what will be presented to you when you die.
Is it possible we live in a simulation?
100%, dude. Absolutely. We're probably a simulation within a simulation within a simulation within a simulation. Like we are absolutely. Mathematically, it's far more likely that we're in a simulation than not. But I don't think that makes our experience any less valid, it all goes back to kind of like the nature of consciousness. Like, does it matter to you if some other thing created you and that doesn't, as part of a simulation? Doesn't matter. Like you are you. You're still experiencing all of this through your own consciousness. Your consciousness still has value, whether or not it's like something that was, and that doesn't, when you think about it, simulation theory doesn't necessarily go against the idea of religion or all these things. Something had to create a simulation. You still have a creator or a God or however you want to, or a universal entity, whatever you want to refer to it as, like that still holds with simulation theory. I don't think it necessarily runs counter, I don't think that because something's a simulation that it's less valuable, or that it doesn't actually contain consciousness.
But what would be the purpose of the simulation, do you think?
What's
Or
the
like,
purpose of
why?
life? Who knows? I don't know. Go outside. Go look at
Or
the
you think
mountain, you know?
you think
like-
the aliens were interested in sort of recreating the history of mankind, and now they're observing, and
I mean,
it's a lot of effort. It feels like.
maybe not. I'm not sure. Like, I think I'm not sure what the purpose would be other than to just, I mean, what's the purpose of anything? Why do you sit down and write a book? Like, really, like, what is you do it because sometimes things are just an exercise. You just feel a desire to create, you know, I'm not, sometimes there's not, it's not doing something for a purpose. It's doing, you know, again, just because of the process of creating.
Maybe a little bit like climbing Mount Everest.
Exactly. Which I think is insane. That is insane. I've watched like a few Everest documentaries, and I'm always like, what are you guys doing there?
Why?
What are you doing there? Like, what, you're waiting in line to climb like an ice ladder, and you got to hire like a Sherpa to basically do all the work for you? I don't understand that.
So what I hear you saying is, don't ask the question, it doesn't matter, just enjoy the ride.
Yeah. There's a reason that it's called the present. It's because it's a gift, you know? Like, you exist, and whatever you are and whatever happens, you're lucky to have it. We're lucky to be here, you know? And who knows how much time is left. Like, you can't control it, so you might as well have fun, you know? Have a good time.
Anything you want to talk about that's coming up for you in terms of anything exciting on the writing front, or?
I've got a couple movies that are set up at Lifetime right now. One that is about to go into production. One that I'm currently writing. Had a couple like shoot last year, and yeah, like kind of in the process of editing a book, and what else? Working on selling a thriller. There's stuff. You can Google me, I guess.
Well, I'm sure
Or
the
ask Claude.
people will. Oh, Courtney, well, thank you so much for coming on the show today. This was amazing.
Yeah, we got really meta.
Well, that was the
metaphysical.
beginning of the conversation. We hope to have you back.
Yeah.
We'll do part 2.
We'll keep it like a little less existential. And then next time we just talk about something that's not so
Fine.
heady.
Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
If you like this episode, share it with a friend. We would love to hear from you. Follow us on social so we can bring you more.